Welcome back to another episode of Ishigo. In the last episode we've created a couple of highways where we've built a small little village, and in this episode what we're going to do is continue the highway idea. We're actually going to create a couple of intersections. Also what we're going to do is start off with an industrial area because if you look in the previous episode I've created some sort of a triangle with like the highways, and in that little triangle I actually want to make the industrial area. So that's something we're going to do today. But first I have to talk about why I haven't uploaded in the last 2 weeks. And that is because I was really busy and I just want to put out the content you guys deserve. And if I have created the video last week, I didn't feel like the standards were up there to actually make the video and to actually show you guys episode 5. So that's why I've taken me a little bit longer to actually create episode 5, but I think it is worth it right now, especially the second part of this video. That is actually really crazy. I go in with like lots and lots of detailing. I actually gonna build some sort of an office area and you just gonna love it, I guarantee it. So if you want to go ahead and skip to, I think timestamps will be on screen right now, so go ahead, and if you want to you can actually skip to that, but it's gonna be awesome. So in the first part of this video what we're going to do is actually start building the intersection and also a little bit of highway modification, and after that we're actually going to start building some buildings with like an industrial area like I said, and also a couple of offices. It's gonna be awesome and I think you're actually going to really enjoy it. So basically, in a nutshell, I didn't feel like my video last week was good enough to actually post on YouTube. So that's why I postponed it 1 week, and that's why, it actually took me 2 weeks instead of 1 week to create this video. But it's gonna be crazy, and while you're at it, just subscribe if you like the video. Also turn on the little bell so you can be part of the notification squad. And you already know when a video goes live, when it actually goes live, and you get a nice little notification. So go ahead, if you like my videos, just turn on the notifications and you will see them as soon as I publish them. With that out of the way, let's actually talk a little bit about what I'm doing right now. So what we are building today is an intersection with a couple of offices attached to it on either side. And this intersection brings back a lot of memories. I actually used this intersection design, I think, in Turn the Mountain episode 20, where I actually reconstructed the entire downtown area of the Turn the Mountain series. And I think I even used it in an episode with like where I start building the harbor on the Turn the Mountain series. So this intersection, it brings actually back a lot of memories. This particular intersection brings together 3 different highways. So we got one above, we got one underneath the bridge, and then we've got a complete other highway that's also connected to those 2 highways. And this highway design I use because of the fact that I need to merge 3 different highways together, and also find it pretty useful to use one of my old designs. And I think the entire highway design and intersection design needs to be as small as possible, because we are building in some sort of a sub-city area, because on one end we're gonna have like the real city, and on the other end we're gonna have like the suburbs, and basically in between we have this intersection with the industrial area or parts of the industrial area. And that's why I'm choosing to use this intersection, because it actually merges 3 different highways, and also it just looks pretty nice, and it's a really small form factor. Speaking of the highways, 2 of the highways we actually constructed in the last episode, and the bridged highway that's actually a little bit above those highways, that is an outside connection highway. So this one got a straight connection to the outside world, and it's actually the one that's going to go to the city itself, because you got like a straight direction to the outside world, and I think traffic will flow much better if I use this instead of like having 3 different highways that all connect to one highway that's going to the outside world. What this means is that the outside world is connected to our city, and not to the map or anything. It's directly connected to the downtown area of the city, and that's because of this highway. This highway is connected through a tunnel, and you will see me construct that in a little bit. And also it's got a nice little feature with like me building some sort of a bridge, and I think the bridge overall looks pretty interesting, to say the least. It's gonna be one of the key features of this entire city, because you're actually driving through some sort of a gate, and through this gate you actually enter the city. So this bridge got some sort of a symbolic meaning, and therefore I also choose to build this bridge. One other thing is I've actually used guardrails and those white markings you see at the on and off ramps to detail the crap out of this entire highway, because it just makes this entire highway so much more realistic. That is actually crazy to me. Just put in a couple of highways, or yeah, just put in a couple of highways with guardrails, a couple of these white markings, just put a couple of trees next to it, and it just looks a lot more realistic than you imagine at first sight, because those guardrails, you see it all the time with real highways. They're actually to make sure that people are protected, are a lot more realistic, and that's something I'm actually gonna go for with this entire series, to put in lots and lots of details and to make it as realistic as possible, with of course an own creative twist to it. And you can actually see that in a little bit with how I've designed the offices and the industrial area. It just looks freaking fantastic. In this industrial area, what we've got going on is, like I said, a couple of highways, but I also have said that we've got a couple of industrial buildings, including some offices, but I haven't specified it. So what we've got going on in this particular episode, what we're going to build is we're going to build one distribution center and a couple of offices. And the distribution center is there because we actually need to resupply the offices. And also it just looks freaking awesome when it's close to the highway, because real life distribution centers are pretty close to highways, because then they can actually ship stuff out in time. And yeah, it just makes it a lot more convenient. But this particular distribution center, we just go to town on, because I placed a couple of signs on it. So we got like a couple of advertising signs from different companies. We've got like a small little parking lot area for cars and even for the trucks from the distribution center. And what I use is a lot of the decals, especially broken road decals with like asphalt patches, or that road's actually broken and stuff. That just makes this entire distribution center look a lot more realistic. Also, what we've got going on are a couple of vegetation. Because it's really close to the road, I placed down a couple of barriers, so a couple of those sound barriers. And in between those sound barriers and where the highway actually starts, I placed a couple of small little flowers and a couple of bushes and stuff. Nothing too big, because that's also another thing. I didn't want to place like a couple of big trees and lots of vegetation with like tall bushes and stuff, because we are like in an industrial area and they don't place a lot of trees. I mean, if it was in like a suburb or anything, I would imagine that they would place like lots and lots of trees just to keep the sound out a bit, and also place like lots of sound barriers and stuff. But because first of all, the distribution center is close to the highway itself, we don't have that much room. And also, why would they place like lots and lots of trees over there? Nobody is gonna maintain that, and it's gonna be like some sort of a jungle area, because nobody's gonna maintain them. So that's also why I placed a couple of smaller bushes and not that many trees. I think I actually only placed like one of them, so it just got a small little tree feeling, but not that much. So basically that's why I actually choose to go for like small vegetation and don't use a lot of big trees in this build, because it doesn't look that great. And that's basically all I've got for you folks today. So I'm gonna play some music until the time lapse ends, and I'll see you guys at the end of the time lapse. I hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse. It was actually a ton of fun for me to build this one because it just looks freaking awesome, and the amount of detail I tried to put into this place, that was actually crazy. But I just want to ask you guys something, because I use quite a lot of light during my builds, and that means I also need to switch to night mode and stuff. And would it be interesting to do like cinematics also at the night mode, because I only do cinematics in the day mode, but would it also be a really nice option to have like cinematics at night and also at day? Let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to hear your input on this. So we're gonna have like some day cinematics and also some night cinematics. So once again, let me know in the comments down below, because I would like to hear your input on this. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content. Also, don't forget to click that bell, because you're gonna be part of the notification squad. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care and goodbye.